Hey, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. What's your badge number?
That's okay. I'm gonna pop you right now because you're taking up my focus.
Protesters moving them on through the heart of LA.
You just shut the fuck up. You okay?
We are Los Angeles. We are Los Angeles.
Now, Trump sends National Guard to attack California civilians.
Why do some people think these photos are old and unrelated to the LA protests? California Governor Gavin Newsom posted 2 images of National Guard troops on Monday, which he claimed showed the troops being forced to sleep on the floor. Both images were actually first posted by the San Francisco Chronicle on Monday. The paper said the photos were obtained by them and showed National Guard troops sleeping on the floor of government buildings in LA, and that they'd been sent there by the Trump administration.
Will you invoke the Insurrection Act to deal with the situation in California?
If there's an insurrection, I would certainly invoke it. We'll see, but I can tell you last night was terrible. The night before that was terrible. We have, as you've seen, it was on most of your networks, people with big, heavy hammers pounding the concrete and pounding curbs, pounding it, breaking up, and handing these big chunks of concrete to people. And they were taking that concrete, going up on bridges and dropping it into the roof of a car. They were throwing it at our police. They were throwing it at our soldiers that are there. And we got it stopped, and we have them in custody right now. Look, if we didn't get involved, right now, Los Angeles would be burning, just like it was burning a number of months ago with all the houses that were lost. Los Angeles right now would be on fire.
All right, this is not good. Marines are being deployed to Los Angeles. That the primary mission of the Marine Corps Infantry is to locate, close with, and destroy the enemy by fire or maneuver, or to repel the enemy's assault by fire in close combat. Marines are not trained for this. The Marine Corps is not a tool, is not a force, is not a weapon that you use on civilian populations, on protesters. They are not trained for crowd control. They are not trained for the use of non-lethal force. But this is where we are. This could very easily go badly. Very easily go wrong.
You're a former Marine. How would you and your fellow troops in the day, how would you feel if you had to be deployed to a Los Angeles area, any big city in this country, to sort of quell unrest?
I mean, I know the Marines that are there, that are deployed, they want to do their duty, they want to do right, and they want to defend the Constitution. But I think we all recognize, every veteran I've talked to recognizes that this could end horrifically. The Marines from 2-7, who are the Marine unit that's been sent there, they're an infantry unit, which means they're trained to close with and destroy the enemy. They've been training to do this for many months, and the training that they've just had on how to deal with civilians, maybe they've gotten in the past 24 to 48 hours, if that.
Dog, why do I keep on seeing videos of Australian reporters just almost getting murked in LA right now? Like, I think we all saw the news chick. She got shot in the leg by a rubber bullet by a cop. Then I see another guy reporting on the street. Firework detonates like 5 feet away from this man. Like, I get it. You're from another continent. You don't know how LA riots work. This is how it works, right? 5% of people, they're there to protest. Other 95%, they just want to fuck shit up. Because the cops are distracted, so everybody else just wants to loot shit. And see, the LA reporters, they know this shit. You know, the KTLA guys, they're up in the fucking helicopter. They're not on the street. Why are you on the fucking street? That shit looks like Baghdad in 2003. looking like fucking Kuwait in 1991, looking like Syria about 9 months ago. You're gonna die. You're gonna get killed on national television in Los Angeles. You're not gonna get no journalism award for that shit. You're gonna get a Darwin Award. Fuck. Somebody please protect these poor Australians.
Give me a good reason why these ICE raids are so evil.
Here's a question MAGA can never answer on the immigration debate. Why are we ripping apart American families? Growing up, my grandma was not a citizen, but my sister and I are. And my grandma broke her back every day so that my sister can go to veterinary school and I can go to law school. And today, my sister and I pay 6 figures in taxes every year. There is no such thing as an immigrant America that you can just deport without screwing over millions of Americans. 4.5 million American kids have undocumented parents. You tell me in what universe it makes sense to make 4.5 American citizen kids into orphans. Here's why Trump is doing it. Many immigrants who get arrested end up being sent to concentration camps, which are not run by the federal government, they're run by for-profit prison companies. These companies charge American taxpayers $120,000 a year for each person detained. Then they donate a portion of their profits back to Trump and rinse and repeat. American families should not be getting torn apart so that Trump and the prison companies can cash in.
This huge breaking news. ICE is now using the U.S. military to conduct deportations, with experts saying this is likely very illegal and a foundational breakdown of the U.S. Constitution, because the U.S. military isn't allowed to conduct domestic law enforcement, and yet here it appears they are. Right? And all of this is you have Trump saying he's changing the names of U.S. military bases to be named after traitors, one of which will be Fort Robert E. Lee, and, these men killed hundreds of thousands of Americans and enslaved millions more. Right? And many have pointed out that Trump's whining about the Mexican flag being waved in Los Angeles, but at the same time, he's naming bases after literal traitors who hated America so much that they seceded. Trump then also said that he's going to make burning the American flag illegal, which is yet another attack on free speech, right? The Supreme Court ruled over 40 years ago that burning the flag is protected speech. Trump also called LA a trash heap and said he would liberate it. And notably, while Trump was giving this hyper-partisan speech, he was being cheered on by uniformed members of the U.S. Army. And with that, you have a number of vets saying, while in uniform, members of the U.S. military are supposed to be apolitical because they serve all Americans, not Republicans, not Democrats, all of us. And that has stoked concerns that a sizable portion of the military has been radicalized. Right? And all of this is the Marines that Trump ordered to be deployed to LA will now have to undergo several days of training on what they called protocols for use of force and domestic riot control before they can be deployed. Though some have said this is actually a military command trying to delay the situation. But for now, let me know your thoughts and reactions in the comments, and follow and share to stay in the loop.
Tough with your assault rifles and your sticks. You should be standing here with us. You're on the wrong side of history. We know you got a job to do. But you took an oath to the Constitution, not to the fascists in the White House. Think about what you're doing now. Think about what this means. Coming into our community. Peaceful fucking community. People working their jobs. They send in men in military fatigues. Weapons of war into our communities. And you stand here and you allow it. I am sick and tired of it. You should be sick and tired of it. You think any of these people in the White House sending you these commands give a fuck about you? Not one of them do. They laugh at you. Our president laughs at you. He calls you fools. He said the people who died overseas in the military were chumps. That's who you're defending right now. Every last... Think about your place in history, ladies and gentlemen. Ask yourself when you wake up tomorrow. I don't know if you have kids. Ask yourself the future you want for your children. Is it this? You can answer me. Is it this? Do you feel good about this? You're tough behind your fucking masks and your fatigues and with your weapons, but how do you feel on the inside? This is our fucking community, and we will fight for it if we have to. Whose streets? Whose streets? Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets! Whose streets? Our streets!
Donald Trump just deployed 700 active duty Marines to Los Angeles. Not the National Guard, not state troops, but these are combat trained Marines being sent into an American city because people are protesting immigration raids. Let's be real clear about what this is. This isn't about protecting federal buildings. That's just their excuse. This is about using military force to intimidate people who are standing up against injustice. People are protesting ICE raids that are ripping families apart and deporting people without any due process. And the federal government's response is to send in the fucking Marines. And what's worse is he bypassed the governor of California. The governor didn't ask for this. Trump just chose to federalize the National Guard and then sent in Marines without state approval. That's not just aggressive, that's a full-blown constitutional crisis. This is not normal, guys. You don't deploy troops trained for war into neighborhoods with protesters. That's not peacekeeping, that's literally escalation. That's the kind of move you see in authoritarian regimes. And the fact that this is happening during Trump's presidency should scare the hell out of all of you, knowing his track record. Because if this is what he's willing to do now, what else is he willing to normalize before this term is over? This isn't about law and order, it's about power and fear. And if you're not paying attention, I would say now is probably the time to start.
You've got to be kidding me. My name is Rob Connect. I'm a 21-year U.S. Marine Corps infantry combat veteran. I spent 9 of those years at Marine Corps Base Camp Pendleton. At 18, I raised my right hand and swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. There's also a really important Marine Corps recruiting poster that I've seen many times that says that Marines are the vanguard of democracy. Well, democracy means government of the people, by the people, for the people. So I never thought that I would see the day that we would sink to persecuting our own fellow American citizens, making us the enemy. Well, Marines do 2 things really well: death and destruction. We wreck the place and we make people unalive. So tell me why we are threatening to send our most deadly shock troops into a U.S. city, Los Angeles, the city of angels, to protect who? I appreciate what Mike Levin has been doing for us, but Mike can't do it by himself. I'm calling on all veterans, you, American patriot who has bled for this flag, step out of the shadows, remember the reason that you raised your right hand and you swore your oath. As it always has been, history is written by those who step up to answer the call of our nation in its moments of weakness. You are needed now.
The Sheriff's Department's role in protecting the people of Los Angeles against federal agents.
No.
You don't have a role to protect us against ICE?
We don't have anything to do with what they do. That's a completely different entity of government. We're local police officers. They are federal agents. Totally different.
But if they come into your jurisdiction without your permission and attack your citizens, what's your role?
They don't need our permission to drive around. They're federal agents. They can go anywhere in the entire federal country.
So if they come into your community where you have jurisdiction and they're detaining people without warrants and they're detaining people without due process, what's your role?
That's fucked up, and we don't have a role. We go to calls for service. They do what they do, and we do what we do. We respond to calls for service when people have emergencies, when people have been robbed or need a report for something. That's completely different from what they do.
And what's more serious for people to be protected from than kidnapping and detention?
You can't. That everybody has their own problems. You're gonna say that my cat being stuck in a tree is more important than whatever's going on with anybody else in the world. We have to. It's a balance, okay? We have to respond to calls for service. Until everyone leaves everywhere, we will have to be here.
What?
You were saying you were a U.S. Marine?
I'm a Marine, proud to serve, baby.
How long did you serve?
2005.
What do you have to say about President Trump sending National Guard?
It's not right, bro. You know what I mean? His country and his state runs with immigrants. You know what I mean? I'm a son of parents that came from Mexico. You know what I mean? It's not right. It's not right. You could take the criminals away. What do you want to take hardworking people for, man? That's not cool. Not cool, bro.
To every National Guard member with a spine and a soul, if you're being ordered to deploy into California under any directive tied to a self-declared national emergency by a convicted felon, an insurrectionist, an illegitimately restored executive, read your damn UCMJ. You swore an oath, not to a man, not to a party, and certainly not to a fascist cult masquerading as governance. You swore to support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Let me remind you, an order is only lawful if it aligns with the Constitution, federal law, and the lawful chain of command. A president under criminal conviction who clawed back power through systemic manipulation and incitement of sedition represents, by definition, a constitutional crisis, not a lawful administration. actions, your presence, or your silence against American citizens in any capacity that violates constitutional boundaries. That is an unlawful order. Under Article 92 of the UCMJ, your legal and moral duty is to refuse it, not to hesitate, not to defer, not to wait and see, to refuse. Period. Let me make this brutally clear. If you follow illegal commands issued by an authoritarian regime, especially one that came to power through insurrection, election denial, and violent coercion, you become part of the very domestic enemies your oath warned you about. You will not be able to hide behind, "I was just following orders." That excuse has never aged well. This isn't about politics. This is about the Constitution, state sovereignty, the rule of law. This is about the attempted militarization of dissent, the weaponization of federal power to crush civilian autonomy. This is the moment the line is drawn. If your command accepts these orders, they are collaborating with seditionists. If you obey them blindly, you are no longer defending your country. You are occupying it. To all who still have honor in uniform, stand the fuck down. Refuse unlawful activation. Demand congressional intervention. Uphold your oath. Before your complicity writes your legacy, history is watching. And this time there will be no excuse.
Give us your thoughts on Trump sending in the National Guard.
Yeah, let me start there. I fully support what he's done. We can't have cars being burned overnight and people rioting in the streets, tearing down not just business infrastructure and people's personal property, but threatening federal facilities as well. And so he said during his campaign that he was not going to allow our cities to be destroyed. And I think this is an appropriate step. One of the things that I also am surprised by is the fact that we have such a violent protest reaction when what is happening is violent criminals who are illegally here are being arrested. But then again, California is stated as a sanctuary state. And I think this is one of the challenges, which is we've got to recognize that there are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people here who are violent criminals here illegally that we need to arrest and we need to deport them. And that's what we've been doing in Virginia. I have to say the partnership we've had with the federal government to make sure that we are focused on violent criminals who are here illegally, who are human traffickers, drug traffickers, who have deep criminal records, who have just been let loose. And so we have now surpassed over 1,500 violent criminals who are here illegally in Virginia in partnership with the federal government, state police, Department of Corrections, in order to make Virginia safe. And I'm committed to continue to do that.
We stand with us. We stand with America. We stand with Donald Trump. This is fucking Orange County. This ain't LA. This is Orange County. This is Orange County. We stand with National Guard. We stand with President Trump. We stand with President Trump.
They're not gonna protect your ass.
USA! 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 I'm right now. I'm here right now. I'm here right now. I'm an asshole. You guys are out here too. First Amendment, bro. I respect your right to First Amendment. I have mine. USA! 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 Go for it, James. Yes, this is Orange County. There are Americans who support President Trump's program of mass deportations. Santa Ana is a city in violation of federal immigration law. There are those of us in Orange County who are sick of this, and we're coming out to say we stand with ICE, we stand with President Trump, and we stand
He deploys thousands of members of the National Guard and hundreds of Marines to Los Angeles to help suppress the protests. President Trump is here at Fort Bragg in North Carolina to celebrate the Army's 250th anniversary, but also even actively rally the soldiers here in support of his troops domestically.
I want to applaud the courage and the strength of the incredible troops who are right now standing guard. Not only are these service members defending the honest citizens of California, they're also defending our republic itself.
With this split screen playing out between the streets of Los Angeles, here at Fort Bragg, and in Washington, D.C., where preparations are underway for the military parade this upcoming weekend, the president showing a keenness to not only showing America's military might for potential operations abroad, but unlike presidents before him, making it clear that he is willing and eager to use the military in the streets of America.
Chaos in LA. Massive crowds rally against ICE raids, chanting and shutting down streets from downtown to Echo Park. With each wave of detention, locals are asking, is this the tipping point toward martial law? In this video, we captured exclusive user-submitted clips, expert analysis, and real-time coverage. Brace yourself. This isn't just another protest. It feels like a turning point. We broke down the scale of recent ICE crackdowns in LA, citywide responses from solidarity marches to school walkouts, the growing tension, could California declare a state of emergency, and some people weighing in on whether the US is inching towards martial law. The streets of Los Angeles are burning with anger and hope. The question on everyone's mind, is the US heading toward martial law? For now, it's speculation. But the government is watching, and so should we. If you're feeling the tension rising in LA, you're not alone. We're tracking every move, every rally, and every official response. Hit subscribe and the notification bell to stay ahead of the story, and join the conversation in the comments. Your voice matters here. Don't let this boil over in silence. Until next time, stay alert, stay engaged, and protect the peace. Just a quick note, full credit goes to the original creators of these videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.